No, I got to lean in. Hey y'all, we're here to talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Don't I sound excited?
Ecstatic.
Oh my God, it's going to be such a great show. Not just playing. What's going on, everybody? I'm here with Chad, Jamie, and Antonio, who I guess got kicked out or something. Low budget.
Low budget.
And like I said,
low budget.
The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We are at the end of this season. A quite bizarre season. People are going to jail. People are not friends. And there were literally only 4 people on the couch. Has that ever been such a low, like, I don't, it's usually always 5.
Yeah, 5 has been minimum. Yeah.
Yeah. So Salt Lake City out here breaking records. Come on, Salt Lake City. What's going on, Antonio?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, it's
oh, Lord.
Why is no one ready?
I don't know why nobody's ready. But nonetheless, if you're watching right now, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's going to be a great show nonetheless. I will say the reunion was interesting. I did tune in, I'll say, enough to be like, okay, what's going on? They did give us some good talking points. But they already started filming season 4, right? Or
yeah. Or they have started, or they're supposed to start in like a week or so.
Jesus.
Okay.
So that prayer we had for a break ain't gonna happen.
Right. Antonio, okay, are you with us? Because it was
stuck. Yeah.
Okay, not she jerky like she took the Pfizer vaccine.
Oh, well, Tony, I hope you get it together, honey. Yeah, that's everything. You said what, Antonio?
Y'all can't hear me?
It's like you doing this right here.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay, let me go out.
Leave out and come back in, then we'll do it together. But shout out to everybody in the chat right now. I see BKZ Empress. Shout out to everybody that's been following us for Salt Lake City. The season 1 and season 2 was a really good season. This season, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's been okay, but we have committed to reviewing it. And we will continue to do so. So shout out to everybody that comes to this page just for Salt Lake City. Give us the views, give us the time, because clearly sometimes we love to be here with you all, but for this show, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes it's like, ooh. All right, Tony, you good?
Yeah. Am I? I don't know. Am I?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I hope so.
Dad, you can go straight to hell because you ain't been here for weeks.
I'm just saying.
You got some shit to say.
I hope so. That's all I'm saying. Welcome.
How you gonna come in and get mad at him because he was trying to hit you?
Okay.
And Jamie, you too, hell. You ain't been here in motherfucking 3 months, and now you want to back.
Can I live? Can I live?
What's going on, Miss Jones? All right, so let's get started with this. So we ended the season off with a 30-minute finale because it was an event. It was Heather's book cover reveal, whatever, with the choir on the side. And we actually did not get all of some scenes, which they actually revealed in this reunion. I thought it was kind of whack, but maybe it was planned. I don't know. We saw Jen go. We saw the point leading up to Jen pleading guilty. We saw that on camera with her mom and everything like that. So we'll leave off with all that. So at this reunion, Lisa and Whitney are clearly like besties at this point. They're in the same room getting their glam together. I'm like, okay, where did this come from? And so how they arrived this season to do a sprinter arrival. I thought that was, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, it's kind of, I get where it was coming from, but that would have been good for last season because everything really happened on the sprinter last season. But hey, whatever. I guess they did it.
Jay mentioned that. That was kind of weird.
Did y'all have any thoughts on the sprinter arrival? Y'all thought it was cute? What did y'all think?
I thought it was really cute, but I did think it was weird once he pointed out that he was like, didn't all that stuff happen last season? I was like, yeah, but I guess it's really just showing that they are always in the sprinter van.
Yeah, true. Chad, there's a question from BKC. She says, Chad, how long did it take your black eye?
It took about 10 hours.
BKC, he gonna get another one if he keeps fucking me.
Oh God! Right.
Wow. So are you saying you gave him the first one because Chad? Okay.
Wow. Is this who we are?
Wow.
I don't remember that, but if you say that's what happened, that's what happened. But I don't remember that.
Chad was hoping somebody would trigger his memory.
Right. And so, like we said, this reunion, it only had 4 housewives. I think that's a record for like being so low. It looked kind of empty, but they did give them they did push in the couch a little more. I guess they had little sections to make it seem like it was a full set. So the first thing they asked them, of course, their thoughts on Jen not being there, and their thoughts on how they felt when she had pled guilty. Because this is before the sentence, I believe, when they filmed this, but this is after, the plea or whatever. And so, Heather says that Jen called her right before she pled guilty. I thought it was very interesting and told her what she's about to do. And she gave her thoughts on this. So did y'all have any thoughts on this? And like, what are y'all thoughts now at the reunion, seeing that Jen is not there? Like, I mean, it's going to be a lot they're going to talk about, but they already have. But she can't even talk. She can't talk about what happened and defend her own case. Any thoughts on this?
I mean, it's interesting that Andy said she was invited, but her team declined because Jen was on Instagram telling people she was not invited, and they left her out to dry after everything she did for the network and the show.
No, she said initially she wasn't invited. They came back and invited her, but she explained to them that she wouldn't be able to discuss certain things dealing with the case. So they wanted to discuss that, so she decided not to go.
She's lying. She's lying through her teeth.
Right. I don't know.
Just like she's lying online tonight. Just like she lied yesterday on the Instagram post. The lady's a liar. The lady's a fucking liar. She wouldn't know the truth if it punched Heather in the eye.
Any other thoughts on this whole part right here? No.
I mean, I thought it was natural that she called Heather though. If she was to call anybody, I thought it was it was expected.
Yeah.
Heather, but she must stop playing because she'll get names a damn interest in this damn case. I'm just saying.
Listen,
she better stop playing like it's all cool. Because I don't know. I would look. That's real risky to say. Oh, she called me right before she pled guilty. Why would she call you, Heather? Girl.
Okay.
Do we need to do some research on Beauty Lab?
Baby.
Don't do that.
Clearly we might, based on the messages.
Is it really beauty up in there? Are they cleaning dollars back there? I don't know. We don't know.
Stop.
I be watching shows. Alleged. It's all alleged.
Allegedly.
You must just not get caught up on Ozark.
I did watch all the seasons though. I watched the money allegedly. Okay, so the first topic that they get onto, which I was surprised that was first, but I guess it kind of fell in order of the season, was Meredith and versus Lisa. And they're being very fake. Meredith says she did wish happy birthday, not directly, but they're talking about their friendship. And so Meredith says that if Lisa had reached out, she would have, talked to her. And the reason that she is having the issue with Lisa is not because of the hot mic. It's because I guess during this time, after Phoenix, it was a period where Lisa made some posts, defending her case that she did reach out to Meredith during her time of grief. And, Meredith thought that this was like some bullshit and thought it wasn't something that she should have did or whatever. So they kind of go into, the rumors. He asks Meredith about the rumors about Lisa, SEC and stuff like that. And apparently there were a lot of rumors about Lisa this season. It was the blowjobs. It was the SEC. Was there anything else? Did I miss anything else or no?
That was pretty much the bulk. I feel like
the blowjob. Blowjob was
blowjob.
That was
but blowjob. I thought the blowjob was for her placement. No, she was sleeping with people to get her tequila put in places. So she was fucking.
Okay, you're right. So it was sleeping people to get the tequila, but it was giving blowjobs for the ticket.
For jazz tickets.
There was the crowdfunding.
I hope they was front row or in the box or something like.
I really want to know where these seats are. One, are jazz tickets that covetable? Like, are the Jazz really doing things out there like that people
maybe?
Gotta be. This is the first time I done heard anybody speak about the Utah Jazz in years.
I don't even know. I can't name one player who used to play
Malone. Karl Malone is the only one I know of.
Yeah.
I haven't heard from them since then.
Not 98.
Let me continue this problem pass to y'all. So, speaking of the rumors, Whitney gets involved. She basically says that she's not saying that Meredith started the rumors, but she's the one that brought them up. She kind of carried the rumors or whatever. And she's defending Lisa in this case, and Lisa's just like, blah blah blah. Meredith, you brought him up. Well, Andy asks, is Lisa, what about the comment you made in regards to Meredith popping pills? She said, I don't pop pills, bitch.
You do.
You do, right. And so the way she responds, I'm not gonna lie, like, I like Lisa, but I didn't respect her to respond in any kind of way. She didn't really own it. She just basically said, like, listen, they saying stuff about me. What's the issue with me saying stuff about her? And then I think Andy, who has also been allegedly accused of popping pills and everything else, he was just like, no, that's a bit more intense to insinuate someone's doing drugs, which, I mean, it is. It's definitely an allegation. So they kind of get to a point where they say they're never really going to be friends at this moment, but they can at least be cordial. And so give me y'all thoughts on this. And do you think that they'll ever get to a good place to where they can be friends again? Starting with you, Antonio.
No, I don't think they'll ever be friends again. I think as long as the show on, they may eventually get to a point where it's kind of like we'll get along on the show, but I don't see them being friends in the way that they were. With the whole pill popping thing, I mean, it was bad, but she is saying she's sucking somebody's dick or she fucking somebody that could have damaged her marriage. How do we know her marriage wasn't on the rocks? And that could have been what pushed it over. So I think both were bad. Now the pill popping was a little bit worse, but to me it wasn't that much worse. I mean,
a little bit worse.
And you going after my marriage, Chad? I don't care how close you get to the screen. It ain't changed.
See, that's how you got that eye last time, Chad.
Oh. Now you about to get another one.
I mean, yeah, was it bad? Yeah, but it's like, I mean, shit, you came after me, so you fired at me, I fired back.
Look, it wasn't just pills, Antonio. At the first time she got to defend herself, what did you say about her popping pills? I actually said she snorted ketamine. Oh, girl, that
part was different.
Like, come on now.
I was discussing what specifically happened in the scene. In the actual scene, she only said pills. Now she said special K. I was like, now wait a minute, bitch.
He said K.
Andy's ears perked up. He said, "What?"
Yeah. Andy didn't like that. Andy was like,
"No, Andy loved that."
No, he loved it.
Give me a number.
He didn't like that.
Because if you're going to do drugs, I'd rather you do them in the house.
Andy didn't like the allegation because it was like, oh, you're trying to say something bad.
It was just so absurd. It was so messy.
Right.
Like, Lisa,
it was like, what's wrong with popping pills? That's basically what he said.
I mean, we discussed this earlier on in the season. Like, they're fighting this hard because there's genuine love there. They're friends there. I think that Lisa wants so badly to be Queen Bee, and we've seen her do this over the last couple of seasons, and the only person that has been really blocking her vocally is Jen. With Jen out of the way, I think Lisa really is scrambling to like take that top girl spot. But the fans are really like siding with Meredith and have been the last couple of seasons, and that really fucking bothers Lisa. I'm not on anybody's side. It's both messy as fuck, but like, at least Meredith, whenever she's talking, it doesn't sound like it's completely out of left field. Like she didn't just pull it out of her ass. She's talking about stuff that's being heard, and Lisa's like, well, you snorted cocaine off a stripper's asshole. Like, oh, what? Where did you pull that out of, Lisa?
So you think it's genuine love between those two after what they said about one another?
It was, which is why they got mad. I mean, there is some truth to probably a lot of stuff that both of them are saying. Like, when you're saying stuff like that, you only find stuff about that when you're a real good Judy with somebody.
But you know what? I feel like it's easy to say that Meredith pops pills because people always make jokes about the way her lip be going to the left. So I feel like it probably came from a place like the fandoms think she does doing some shit and blah blah blah, But then she did say that Jen, Jen is the one that said it. Whitney confirmed that she said it. So she did. Meredith calls Jen. And I'm not going to lie. I was like, wait, is he going to allow her to call Jen?
I was like that.
But he didn't stop it. So he's like, Jen, she's like, Jen, did you say this? And she's like, no, that never happened. I never said that. And Lisa gagged me because she was like, you're going to believe her over me? She's going to jail. I'm not the one.
I was like, oh,
I'm on Lisa's side with that. I
was like, you know what? That's
Jen
a very valid
definitely
point.
said this shit.
Jen generally said that.
I believe that. I believe Jen said it for sure, and I think that's where it came from because Jen just says salacious things like out of her mouth, regardless. I think that Lisa and Meredith will not be friends, but I do think that they'll be able to be cordial.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Lisa and Meredith are also the same type of woman, but they have two different approaches. I think both of them want to be the queen bee, but Meredith's approach is more so, I'm going to be the queen bee because people will just like me and gravitate to me. Lisa wants to make you know that, hey, I can do this, I can do this, I can, she wants to be the queen bee so bad, she's just desperate looking when she does it. So it kind of always leans in Meredith's favor because people are going to always gravitate towards more so like the person that has a better presentation overall. So
yeah,
that's how I feel about it.
It's they definitely approach things differently. Meredith reminds me of a woman off of like Big Little Lies who is very well respected, well liked in the community, but you get on her bad side and she absolutely has venom and can fuck you up from behind the scenes and still come out very, very likable and justified. Lisa, on the other hand, like that lady cannot keep her cool to save her damn life. Like she flies off the handle.
Too far. Yeah, she goes too far. I mean, to go back to what Antonio was saying about people, the drug thing, and it's not, it's not that deep. To me, it's always going to be that deep. I feel like I made a post like this before on Facebook. We've all been, accused of sleeping around and being a hoe and all this, all that other crap. I mean, I believe.
Wait a minute, you said you haven't, Antonio?
I haven't.
Okay. Chad said that he saw you in the Sprinter van on the way here.
So, and other places, but anyway, like I was saying,
and he was, and y'all catch, he was right there beside me.
Like I was saying, once you start making up stuff, and talking about I'm a drug addict and I got a sex dungeon and everything else, I have an issue with you. Don't lie on me.
Oh. Nah.
There's only a certain.
Well, hold. But you gonna pick, hold up. You gonna pick and choose what lies are okay. So it's okay for you to say I'm sucking dick down to the stadium to get a ticket up in the high up in the air, but I can't say because I heard you pop pills. I can't say you pop pills.
Well, Meredith never said
popping pills. My popping pills is more so. Meredith is a lawyer, so popping pills could affect someone's livelihood. When you saying that somebody's out sucking dick,
give a drug test.
It's like you just saying it just because I'm a
I don't think you think that
I'm sleeping around.
So here it is. I'm a bad bitch. I get both parts. I get what you're saying in terms of like, but I feel like if your job found out that you was sucking dick, you know what I'm saying? What they gonna do? You suck dick, right? But your job.
You done seen many people get fired because they done got something leaked to them sucking dick or something like that, and they done lost their job or whatever it is. It don't matter. They done got fired for it. How we know it ain't some video?
Sorry, Antonio, we love you though, but I don't know.
Listen,
I'm gonna say this right here. I don't ever want to be accused, associated with. I ain't coming for nobody that does it, but me personally, I do not do drugs. Barely even weed. And so I don't want to be accused.
Not even hookah.
I'm not saying hookah. I love hookah now. I'm not coming to anybody, but that's just not me. And I always gonna be true to myself.
I agree with what you said.
Don't put that on me. That's all. Anybody else have fun, but
Because there's always the insinuation. Like whenever they say that, there's never the insinuation of like, if Meredith's popping pills, she could a Xanax. Okay. Cool. That could very well be the truth. Yes, I pop pills, but there's the insinuation when you say it like that. You make it sound like I'm a strung out drug addict. Even if you're like, like at the New York when they said Dorinda did cocaine or whatever. Dorinda may have had a couple of bumps at a party, but it was the insinuation of, baby, you a drug addict out here doing rails with Andy Cohen in the back and watch what happens live. Like, and that's what it is. And these women know. So I'm with Chad. That you're on a reality TV show, so there's a certain level of petty and a certain level of argument, and a line should be drawn of. There's an understanding. We're if not friends, we're friendly. There's a reason why we were all cast together. So there should be a point where we're kind of all in agreement. Mm-hmm. This is it. This is where we're going. I think with Salt Lake, they have gone so far past that. Episode 2, season 1, like Jen Shah. Jen Shah started that, and everybody just kind of followed suit because now it's an avalanche of just everybody trying to keep up with the precedent that they set for themselves. Like, there was no slow burn. They started right out the gate.
Okay. Well, I'll say this before we can move on. Drugs come across every franchise in some way, form, fashion. Whether it's drugs or it's alcoholism, it always comes across every franchise. So maybe, and I'm sure it won't be the last time we hear it on this franchise because they are very much so was chaotic. So you'll hear it again. All right.
Special chaotic.
I think we talked about this on the way. Before we started the show, kind of like where is the outline with this reunion? Like, how are they going with things? And so the very next segment are the friends of the show. Now, I'm just gonna say this: they should have brought those friends out from the beginning because I can't stand their couch looking so damn empty. But I'm glad they brought them out sooner than later because I was just like, I know we're not gonna go straight into this damn stupid ass eye. And so we did. They bring the friends out. Dana, because I don't want to be corrected again. Dana, Angie K and Angie H joined the couch. They actually look pretty good.
Gorgeous.
Overall, everybody looked pretty good. I'll say that. I don't think anybody looked bad. I felt like Angie K's looked better in pictures than in person. To me, I didn't really. It didn't translate as well, but she probably was my.
She looked good from here up. Like from here up, she was.
Her and Lisa was like my bottom two. I'll say that.
Yeah.
For me, it was Dana, who I felt I liked it better on pictures than I liked that she was.
I didn't. Oh, you know, I didn't like it on pictures. So I didn't even put her in.
It gave me like Party City
costume.
Yeah, with the shoulders and the things hanging. I was like, okay, you should have took that off.
I guess because of the structure of it, it didn't translate well sitting down because it kind of boxed her. It made her look a little boxy.
Just took it off and wore a dress.
She looked gorgeous though, like her hair and everything. She looked good. Everybody looked good.
Decent.
Well, she actually was the first person that was talked to from Andy on the couch. And of course, it's her versus Jen. She had an ongoing, I guess, feud with Jen throughout the entire season. And he asked her, to explain like why you had an issue. And, and she basically said like initially she didn't have an issue. And when she gave her reason for when that issue became apparent, I guess, or an actual issue, she mentioned when she got into it with Angie H. But it's almost like she forgot. And I was like, when she was explaining, it's almost like she was trying to remember why she had an issue, which makes me believe, like, girl, I just can't really get with you, to be honest. They did show the scene from the finale. And, I think I actually saw it earlier from, Bro Chat on Instagram's page. I saw the clip. And she definitely went off. She popped off on her. Jen didn't say nothing back. But I don't know. What did y'all think about that scene? And just Dana's segment? I mean...
I felt bad for Coach when they showed the flashback because I didn't realize Coach was standing right there when she said all that. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh wow!"
Everybody was standing there. There was it wasn't just them two. It was everybody was sitting around like watching.
Yeah. I think really the problem with Dana was what we said a couple of episodes ago. Like, it feels like we're only seeing clips of her performance, and we're not getting any kind of backstory or any kind of like what has led to that. So that clip. That little 30-second clip while like, oh, okay, snap. But then it begs to like, how did we get here? Like, did Jen just walk in the party and you were like, money on your books?
Well, she explained what happened. On her story, she did say what happened, but we don't have the footage.
But we don't have the footage. So even then, the emotional impact of it is just kind of like, I'm very confused. And I don't know if that's necessarily her fault. I think it's the editors. They have edited this show really weird this season.
Yeah, this season
in
was
terms
weird.
Of cutting and chopping. It was very odd, and it left a lot, not just from her, but everybody. It seemed like storylines just really were copy and pasted together on a lot of these episodes.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, when those friends come in, it's somebody already in their mind to me who they feel like, yeah, I want a little piece of that person. I felt like she, at the very beginning, she couldn't come in immediately. Of course, she couldn't snub Jen at the ski thing and not speak to her because it's like, damn. So she had to be nice to her. But I felt like Jen was already, in her sight. And she's like, yeah, that's the bitch I want right there. And she used the example of what's made her kind of change towards Jen was when Jen was yelling at Angie Harrington. But I'm like, do you not understand why she was yelling at Angie Harrington? Now, Jen ain't right a lot, but in that case, Angie.
He was
I'm
justified.
sorry, Angie H.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Angie H. When they were out at the choir thing, Angie H. Deserved to be yelled at. So for her to kind of use that and it's like, oh, now I got a problem with her. And even that clip that they showed, and I'm putting money on your book. It was just like
it shows that she was pressed.
Oh, she was
very
pressed.
much so.
Oh, you know, she walked off and everything. I was just like, okay, girl. I was like, okay, girl.
It's seen.
And you did that.
Good job.
It's crazy because I was looking forward to it, but when I saw the whole thing, I was just like, I'm looking at her like Jean. You know how like what's her name? Like Mary. Look at Whitney. Okay.
But I do like when she was like, I don't bark, I bite. And Jen was like, well, bite.
Like, okay, well, bite.
Yeah.
I like that. Like, what's good? Like, go ahead and grab me so I can wear you out. Is what I was getting.
Say what you will about Jen. She ain't no punk. She punked out legally. She a punk in front of a judge. But in front of these bitches, she ain't.
I'm sure we would all be.
She didn't become no punk until the summer. She wasn't no punk to the end. She was saying, I'm innocent, motherfucker. I'm innocent. That's what she did to the judge.
Free Jen Shah. Free Jen Shah.
Right.
Not hard.
Chad, are you gonna put some money on her books?
I'm not gonna put money on her books, but I feel very bad for her.
Dana had practiced that.
Oh, absolutely. She's in front of that man.
Dana, she's like, yeah, you know, Dana in her mind, she's like, well, me and Jen get into it, and she's gonna say, and then I'm gonna be like, yeah, bitch, because I could have put money on your books, and then I'm gonna turn and walk away. That was her like mic drop. She thought she ate that, and you did. It was very mad to me.
In front of that mirror, she said, remember,
I really wish Jen would have just shook her. Oh my God. Like you remember, the Jen that threw the glass and stuff. I just wish she would have gave us one last Jen moment before she went on to Jen.
I think if Coach Shah had not been there, she would have.
You think so?
I think it.
But that was the reason why her and Dana kind of got into it, because it seemed like Dana was talking to Coach Shah, because Jen said, "Don't be talking to my husband or whatever," at the very beginning of that little exchange.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she did say in this moment that all that happened because Jen had made jokes about her house. She said Jen had made jokes about her husband's name.
Why she didn't check it in?
So I'm just this is what Dana said. So I don't know.
I mean, she did kind of gag her a little bit on the couch when she was saying, like, I own multiple properties. She rents. I could buy the property she rents and evict her. I said,
yeah, that's what she said. I don't believe it. You don't even live in no damn chalet. You got all this money. She should be living in a chalet then. Girl, you ain't.
That's probably why she's got this money.
She's staying in Tallulah.
She got a little one-bedroom townhome.
We don't know where Dana lives, and we'll never know because she ain't coming back. So
then she's coming back. They ain't got nobody else.
They got some people, child. I go. So after Dana, they go to Angie H. Angie H. Her whole situation goes back to the jazz tickets. What happened to low budget is child? Here we go. Her whole thing goes back to the jazz tickets, and it goes back to the conversation with Whitney about the tickets and everything like that. And this goes into Meredith saying that she has proof, because basically Lisa did not give Angie H the time of day the entire season. And Lisa is upset because she feels like Angie H has been coming at her family. And Meredith allegedly on the show, she said that Lisa created fake accounts to troll her. Obviously, Angie H and her husband created fake accounts to troll Lisa. Because the Jen Shah Exposed was not really about the Shah. It was really about Lisa. I think because we mentioned it already. But any thoughts on this whole moment with Angie H? I feel like even then she really didn't utilize her time. Maybe
I agree.
They put stuff out.
Yeah.
I really feel like she should have capitalized on this moment to try to make a boom, but she really lets Lisa kind of like push her back in the corner.
Run her.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Lisa walked her.
Yeah, she did, and she was loud. No, whatever. Yeah. Chat.
It was whatever. I mean, I like Angie. I want her as a castmate on the show eventually, but she got to do something else. Like it was like you said, she should have maximized her time a little better. It didn't do nothing for me.
Yeah,
she's so preoccupied with looking innocent or looking blameless. Like, girl, trust, if you would come up and say, yeah, my husband did this because you're kind of a bitch, and ever since last year, like, I think people probably would have gotten on her side and been like, all right, I would have done the same thing. Like, okay, fuck it. But it's this weird spot. Like when we met her last season, she really did get up in Lisa's face, and like we were like, okay, like she's coming up to the table, and then like she disappeared the rest of the season and comes back, and it's like she really is trying so hard. She's like a dog with her tail between her legs.
The Charisse and the what's her name, Carrie edit to where they kind of like cutting her scene, maybe.
Well, I also they didn't want to. They didn't a couple of them didn't want her around. Like Jen didn't want her around. Lisa didn't want her around. They wouldn't film with her, so she's already a friend. So her filming is probably limited anyway. So I think that made it even worse. Not only that, I think she is probably in the mindset of, damn, my husband and attack these women, so I can't really. Maybe in her mind, she's thinking I can't go up here and like yell and verbally, attack these women. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you better cut them out. Like, okay, you only got a few minutes to really make an impact because you wasn't there the whole season. So it's really no need for you to even come back for, part 2 or part 3.
I'm surprised they even brought her to the reunion, to be honest. I'm so
Tracy and Jersey had more screen time than Angie H, and they cut her completely out of the room.
Oh, yeah.
So the fact that in all of these franchises, Cherie in Beverly Hills didn't get no invite. We've seen Friends on Atlanta. They cut Estelle out of Potomac. Like, you are here in a full dress, sitting on the couch for more than 30 seconds. And you utilize your time by sitting there saying, I didn't do that. No, that didn't happen. Like, oh, God.
Okay.
She said it.
Looking like, what's her name? From what's my girl?
Wilma
name?
Flintstone.
Sarah
Paulson.
She looked just like
Sarah Paulson.
Like Sarah Paulson.
Yeah. They definitely got the same daddy.
I'm gonna tell you who I feel like, to be honest, if they brought her back, I guess I can see why they did, because this heifer is truly working, trying to work. Angie came, she came through it in a couple ways. So
she thought she did, but yeah.
I agree. Now I wasn't living, but I feel like she did a lot more than the other two friends. I feel like she's of the 3, she stands out a little more because she has more involvement with everybody at this point.
Well, she's articulating herself better.
She is, but her voice is so
it's annoying.
Annoying. I didn't realize it was so annoying until this. I'm like, oh my God, she is annoying.
She's when she has an opinion, she's stating it very loudly. She doesn't have a problem fighting with other people. She doesn't have a problem standing in the shit that she says. Angie H hasn't done that. And even Dana flusters her damn self to where she just talks in circles and she stutters. And I'm like, oh, it's all right, girl. You'll be fine. Just sit
Can
down.
we just rename Dana as the girl?
The girl.
She has not done anything.
I have to
not
think
the
about
lady.
it before I say it.
Because Jenny was the
like
lady.
her, Chad.
The lady.
No, I did not.
You did. When we started this season,
y'all
know y'all heard Chad.
You a flip-flopping ass bitch, Chad.
No.
Right. You are right.
But Jen Shah,
you are a live, vindictive ass bitch. You. Okay, so Angie K. So Angie K's involvement with this reading comes with where everything went left for her and Jen Shah. The co-hosting, the pouring of the champagne, and she is still going about this damn champagne. On how how it was so bad, and how I guess what she interpreted the intention of it was everything. She is still in the same space she was when they went to San Diego. Where were they at?
San Diego.
And so in this moment, he asks everybody, anybody think it was funny? Heather says, well, I watched it back. I thought it was funny. And Meredith said it was a little champagne. And, Angie is not here for it. Angie is like, in other words, Heather's like, get over it, Angie K. Like, I didn't think I would never do that, but I thought it was funny watching it back. And so, Angie K fires at Heather. And I guess on her being insensitive, she fires at Meredith or whatever. And they kind of go back and forth because she feels like the little champagne comment was kind of dismissing the impact of what happened to her. And so, she was just like, let me know how I feel when I dump a champagne on your head. And I was like, okay, well, I was hoping Meredith would say it, and that'll never happen, but she didn't say it. And so they go back and forth. And, basically, Angie K kind of talks about, I guess her relationship with Jen, how Jen didn't want anybody talking. She didn't want her talking to anybody. Didn't want her talking to Lisa. Didn't want her talking to anybody. Wanted to keep her to herself, right? And so her and Meredith get into it again, and she tells Meredith that she should get into a cubicle because she doesn't have any people skills. Meredith tells her that, well, I do have people skills, says the person that's been trying to get on this show for 3 years. And Andy was like, whoa. We're not going to talk about that. So what did y'all think when y'all saw them two going back and forth? I feel like Meredith should have like lashed into her a little more to kind of shut her up, but she kind of kept it at a good base, I'll say. But Angie K was trying it in my eyes.
I didn't mind. Now, I mean, I think the champagne, like it was nasty in that moment. Like Jen was being nasty. So, I mean, but it's like she didn't, like Meredith said, girl, I mean, you got somebody there, just have them blow it back out. You good. You know what I'm saying? But I do applaud Angie as she sit up there with a very nice scream mask. Her face reminds me of a scream mask.
Oh my God.
I do applaud her for not only, you know, really discussing the situation with her and Jen, but she kind of went at Heather a little bit. She went at Meredith a little bit. So it kind of made her a bit more of a viable candidate. If it was between those three, to me, it made her a bit more viable than the other two, because, you know, the girl was just talking about Jen, who ain't even there. So I think Angie K was really, you know, she's really trying to work and put herself out there. She's been trying to be on the show since the show been going on, apparently. So she's like, shit, this is my shot, and I'm gonna take full advantage of it, which is what she should do.
Yeah, and she didn't let folks use her house and scuff up her floors. She worked hard. She didn't work hard for this.
Give her a snowflake, Andy.
But I do like when I don't know what was there more conversation around Angie as far as like I guess her situation with Jen, and she's like everything when she started saying stuff about Jen. I agree with Meredith. To me, it didn't seem like the response that she said to Jen about going to jail or whatever that was. I didn't think it matched the whole little champagne pour, but she said there was more before then. And I'm like, well, girl, we don't know about all that. You came in this season, you and this girl was like freaking frack, Ebony and Ivory. Y'all was like them bitches, you know.
Ebony and Ivory.
Like,
you know, Jen is Ebony, right?
But I mean, but
definitely Ebony.
Like Meredith said, though, why am I responsible to know about all the stuff that happened, you know, between y'all? Like, I don't know about all this stuff. You know, it's like you trying to put it on me to where I should just know your situation. I don't know. I really don't care. Also, but for you to go so hard, it just seemed like you've been waiting on that moment. Yeah. And, you know, the cards are falling in place for her to eventually have a snowflake. Good for you, Angie K.
Is she suing the show? That's what MJ said. I think
I think I had read something about that too, but I feel like if she was doing that, you think she would have been invited?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this could have been post reunion. Who knows? She gets, you know, I mean, look at it. She let the lady use her house. Then she said, "Oh my God, you owe me money." So if I was her and her mentality, she might say, "Reunion. Oh my God, let me sue this show." I don't know. You just never know. And honestly, this show can't afford to cut so much out. I mean, they ain't got shit. They barely got people on the couch.
Okay. Saying. They inviting friends that had 2 lines, like Pickens or Slim. I think I would be more on Angie's side in this if she's really trying to make like Jen dashed her with the biggest glass, punched her, threw her down some stairs, beat her up, and then shot her mama. Who like say, okay, it may not be a big deal to you. It embarrassed me. This is my first time. Like, I'm on camera. I'm in front of women I don't know. You pour a drink on me, regardless of how big or small. Like, that's embarrassing me, and it's disrespectful as a friend. So just right there, I'm justified in any kind of anger that I have. But instead, she's going like so hard, like Jen stole her damn retirement instead of her mama's. So like, what do we like? I would be more on your side if you were just realistic about what happened. Yeah, and like it's not. I think it's deep. Nasty. Like, okay,
my thing is
Heather
just like
it's funny. It's like it wasn't funny, Heather, but like okay. But also when you have a girl sitting there crying, like girl, it was a drop of champagne. Like let's just be very realistic.
I forgot to mention this too. You know, Heather, when she was going back and forth with her earlier, she made a comment about In other words, like get over it or something like that. Like because I think she said like you're gonna have a hard time on this couch.
Yes, and it was spot on.
I think that is very like honestly, girl. At this rate, if you did want a snowflake or do want one, girl, throw a drink back. Like this whole victim thing, that is very friend-like. But to be a housewife, you got to get back with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even with Wendy, who had a whole drink thrown in purse, she didn't play victim. She kind of like she was isolated at the same time, but she wasn't crying about it in this sense. So I get it. There are housewives that have cried. Well, my fact, she did cry when she got allegedly beat up, as y'all say. But I mean, in the way that she's doing it, I feel like it's just like we already saw it happen. I don't know how much more sympathy you want from it.
Yeah.
It's like
it's almost like she wishes Jen had done more because she had this whole thing ready to just like, oh, here it is. This is my end. Now Jen's the villain. It's like, well, that didn't go the way I wanted, so I already know my lines. Let me go ahead and just run.
Heather and Meredith treated her well, and by telling her like, "Girl, you've always wanted to be here, and you're gonna have a rough time on this couch. If this is too much for you." I think that was like
signed up for
response.
Have like, fun with it.
Get over it.
Yeah.
Heather got a whole black eye.
Like really, exactly. I really loved how Heather responded to her in that moment. Though it gave very seasoned housewife. I live for a housewife that's going to give me seasoned, and it gave girl. If you going to be on this couch, you got to get that together. Like, okay, it was a drink. Heather responded to her. She was the MVP for me.
Yeah.
Until she's got to talk about that eye.
Before we get to the eye, the last part of this segment. So Angie and Lisa tell Heather that Jen was talking about her business. She said she didn't know about it. They asked her how she felt about it. And she was just like, I mean, I didn't know about it, but now I know. And so she was just like, if she feels like they try to tell her things in moments where they're not, where I guess where Jen is upset with them and they're not, she's upset with them for not giving them what she wants. And so they come back and say, oh, well, by the way, Jen did this. And so Lisa says that she has never been one to basically go along with one of Jen's agendas. And then I immediately thought back to Meredith and Jen last year on how she didn't side with Jen, but she also didn't correct her in the moment of going back and forth with Brooks, which is why Lisa and Meredith, I'm like, Lisa, girl, you full of shit. Everybody on this cast at one point, I guess Meredith now has been a Jen puppet. Let's just be very clear. She has ran out, except for Mary. She's on the couch. He's the only one I feel like, unless y'all can correct me, that has not gone along with Jen or been her side. We know Heather is stuck to Jen's ass. She let Jen beat her up in the eye. Whitney last season was pushing her. I mean, I'm sorry. First was pushing her. Lisa was attached to Jen at one point, even up to this point. So I mean, Jen has run these girls to do whatever she wants. Yeah. And Angie H is just the new addition. What it looks like.
I want to know what voodoo Jen put on these women that they are riding with her.
They scared of her, like for real.
Yeah,
it does.
They gotta be scared.
Because the only person that out of the ones that's left now that I've seen stand up to Jen was Meredith last year, but nobody else really kind of goes at it with Jen like that. She backs them into a corner. So but it was odd though when Jen, Heather, you're ride or die, and they tell you that, oh, she's, talking to shit about your business, and Heather was just kind of like, almost like, well, this is kind of what Jen does.
Antonio, she definitely called her Honey Boo Boo and Shrek. So, I mean, come on.
You have to bring that up every chance you get.
I'm just saying, it didn't surprise me at all.
I don't know why you can push. She damn near pushed
stand up
down the motherfucking stairs. But you mean to tell me you just let Jen just walk all over you? But now I do agree with her in the aspect of y'all tell me shit when y'all kind of want to prove a point or when you guys get mad or at Jen or something like that. If you really looking out for me, then tell me in that moment. So Heather still probably not gonna confront Jen about it. But
I still won't do anything. But
still,
she won't.
It won't change anything. But
it's odd though the connection or that is very weird. Like it's like a toxic relationship. It's giving Blueface and Krishan.
Well, Heather gives me that shit like that with everybody.
Who Blueface?
Yeah,
Blueface.
Who Blueface?
Oh God, Heather. She's the one getting beat up.
No,
Jen give me Chris Sean.
Jen give me very much Chris Sean. Heather is so weird because I've never seen somebody have so much self-awareness and do absolutely nothing with it. Like, she knows she's Jen's puppet. She knows Jen's a vile person. She knows Jen talks about her. And she openly admits it. She's very intelligent. She doesn't seem to be delusional. Like, you sit there and you're like, at the end of this conversation, you expect her to be like, you guys are absolutely right, I'm done with her. And she's like, and we're going to go to dinner tomorrow. I'm like, what?
That's why
I've
I
never
don't
seen somebody do
understand,
this.
you know, why she couldn't just, I mean, I guess the Whitney thing, but damn, I just feel like, girl, if you can go through all that, I mean, what stopped you from getting back friends with Whitney? Well, I guess we'll find out.
I mean, Whitney's annoying as shit.
She is, but I mean, Jen, she ain't that damn fun to just to bypass it. That bitch say some crazy shit.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I mean, Jen was probably spending other people's money on Heather and making it very lavish. So, I mean, who doesn't want to do it?
You know what, Jamie, that does make sense because I remember even at was it the first reunion or whatever, and she was saying that she asked Jen what she did, and they ended up sitting at the table with the owners of One Oak or whatever that popular club is, and she was just like, oh, okay, you know, I'm gonna go with it because you know Jen knows these people, or Jen calls the Gucci people in and they bringing in all this shit, and we can go shopping. So I get benefits.
If I wasn't spending my own money, I would too.
And she probably just don't care. Like, I mean, this is stuff Heather's probably heard all her life. Shrek and the Honey Boo Boo. Like, Heather's probably heard this stuff so many times. It's like when people call you gay, it's like, okay, what's next? Like, this is just what you do. It's not that deep. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Well, and Jen is like almost like the opposite of what Heather grew up as. Heather grew up very straight-laced, very religious, very sheltered. And like she even said she wasn't the most popular person. She was kind of this weird, awkward girl until she got divorced. And so here's Jen saw this glamour, this person who's just, you know, spending money and has fake hair and big ass lips and titties.
Why you put it in quotation?
Because Jen Shah, she'll never be glamour.
All right, let's get to this last part. I want to get to the last part before we get short on time. So, sorry to cut you out, by the way, but this damn eye, that's what I call this segment. This damn eye. I will say, Chad, your eye was a lot more interesting to talk about than this one. At least we know who did your eye, you know. But this eye, now I will say, Lisa, Heather looked absolutely, she didn't look seasoned in this moment. She looked absolutely ridiculous. And I didn't understand what she was trying to say or do. She looked like a little kid that was being questioned, but didn't really have the answers. I don't know. But he asks her, you know, what happened. She said she doesn't know. She blacked out. That's what she's sticking with now. And regardless of everything she said earlier, she said that they know what happened.
Sticking with that now.
She know what happened. And Jen, it was so many different things she said on the actual show in the confessionals. She had time to get herself together and just come up with this and stay with this. And so I will applaud Lisa because Lisa is grilling her ass in this moment. She's just like, you know, you said this and you said that. And you basically, you said that you knew, but now you say you don't know. You say you want an investigation. You say you didn't want an investigation. She's like, Heather, like, what is it? And Heather even says to the point to where, you know, she went to somebody and they said that basically in order for them to say that, in order for them to go with the fact that she blacked out, she had to have a medical condition or something like that. So is that what she said?
She said like in order for her to, it's like almost like it's no way you blacked out and did this if you don't have a medical condition.
Yeah. As if like basically your ass know what happened. Yeah. So we ain't finna fool with you. That's what I got from that moment. They did show that opening the door was actually the girls coming in because we kept questioning like, okay, they got the fucking footage, why not? So I guess they did that to go along with the damn story, but that was the time of them coming in. So unless they edit it again, and they also question her about Jen. They feel like why was she the first person to be called? They all strongly feel I think that Jen did it. Yeah, they say because he asked all of them, you know, what do y'all think happened? And all of them said, well, either she blacked out or Jen did it. That was kind of what they all said. At least all the girls on the right side of the couch said that.
Except Dana. Dana surprised me because she was the only one that was like, maybe it was an accident. Maybe Jen didn't know she hit you. I'm like, girl, you literally just said you hate this woman.
She made up a whole story. Like, I think Jen like elbowed her.
They were coming down the stairs.
Like, so what do you mean elbowing? Like, what, girl? What?
Jen was throwing bows in the club.
Right. They came right. It was doing this.
Well, Meredith had she stopped that from happening because she was like, well, I didn't know, nobody was that drunk, because she said they were arguing, so the people couldn't come in the restaurant and they couldn't continue to serve them drinks, so they only had like one drink, and they was only at the club, they said, for like 20
minutes.
Right. So how could she be so, like, how could she black out? Like, black out from what?
Yeah, I'm kind of over the eye thing, but I do think Jen popped her or something. I
think Jen definitely popped her. I mean, Heather told on herself a little bit when she said, when Andy asked her the questions, and then she was like, if it was like gonna give her some legal consequences, I would have said no, she didn't do that. Yeah. So it's kind of like, if you, with a history of Heather and Jen's of how, like we just said, she let Jen talk about her, run over her, say whatever she want to say. I just think that she has this weird, sick, toxic, twisted loyalty to that lady. And Jen punched her, and she's just like, I'm not gonna say anything about it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm just not.
Yeah, and the whole story she was coming up with, like, I was saying that to give us time to come up with what we thought happened, and it was almost a little cringy, because I was like,
it was very cringy.
I didn't want to hear about it. I didn't want to hear about it. I'm like, this stupid ass black eye, like, it's just stupid. This storyline is just about as dumb as Puppygate.
I knew you was gonna say that,
because those are two storylines I just don't seem to understand why we had to go through those
at all.
At least with this storyline, they only talked about it for 3 episodes. Puppygate, we got 367 episodes and an 8-part reunion. Oh,
it was the worst.
And the dog wasn't even that cute, girl. I hope y'all sent it to a kid.
What was it called? Was it Lucy Poolie Pie?
Lucy Apple Juicy.
Lucy Goosey Apple Juicy. Or
Lucy Goosey Lemon Squeezy.
That was another thing, though. Like, so it seemed like this happened in the room or whatever. I don't get how they did not have footage of something.
Well, I heard it was also, there was a claim on Instagram that she got the black eye like a day or so before the trip, and production knew that this season was lackluster, and so production kind of was the one that was like, we're just gonna go with this.
Oh,
that's what I saw on IG, which is why there's no footage of it. Production launched an investigation. The other women didn't know about
Andy
it.
Andy said, like, yeah, we if we had anything, we would have shown it.
And I know he would have.
That was very odd.
Yeah, it's this whole thing is just like, and the thing that bothered me is Heather thinks that she's like being very demure and being like mysterious about it and making people like, it's just turning me the fuck off. Like, I've liked you this season until this, and now you're fucking annoying. Yeah, I forgot you're fucking annoying. Like, nobody on this cast is interesting. You're all fucking annoying.
Wow.
Oh, you said that with something.
Oh.
Wow.
They've fallen so fast.
Any other thoughts on this part of the reunion before I pass it over to our caller for today? Anything?
I think that I would say I didn't have any expectations for part 1 at all, but it was okay.
It was interesting. Yeah, it was okay.
It was okay.
It wasn't bad.
Well, we'll see. The next one is it seems like they're going to be talking more about Jen and going to jail and kind of drilling Meredith on how she is so okay and meh. You know, when a year ago she was, like he said, sitting in the bathtub and giggling the fact that she was going so. And I will say I'm ready to see. I do like Meredith, but I will say that's something that I felt too. It just seems like Meredith. I understand they had a moment to bond, but I don't get how she's so close with her.
I don't understand it,
especially knowing what
being an attorney.
Like, she's still kind of.
Maybe she just doesn't want to throw her all the way under the bus. Like, maybe she just kind of want to push her like on the side of the bus a little bit, but she don't want to throw her
under the bus last seat. She was
driving the bus last year.
Who you calling the fraud? Love you, baby. Like, I mean, she was like, it was to the point to remember we thought that Meredith was the one that called the damn cop. We thought like, and she was playing along with it. She was alluding to it. It wasn't true, but I just feel like it's such a weird.
But remember, they were kind of at odds still last season.
Yeah,
it was different. I think that Meredith went hard because they were at odds.
What I'm saying,
but she still has said, if this, being true, even what she said on the final episode, I kind of got an issue if, you don't really give like an apology to, the victims and stuff like that. So I think she's still
I don't see that issue. I don't see that issue right now.
To me, it seems like she's just in a point of, it's like, well, I know the lady done, at that point she had pleaded guilty, but it's like, well, I don't want to just dog her or run her all the way down. Like how Candy said about Phaedra at the time. At one that they weren't even getting along, but Candy still didn't throw Phaedra all the way under the bus at one point. She kind of pushed her on the side of it. But she was like, and I feel like to me, that's what Meredith is doing. Is like, I'm going to try to hold her accountable in front of them as much as I can, but I'm not going to run her all the way down on this show.
Well, Jen
this is still a human being.
Yeah, but she pled guilty after filming. So
but it was still before the reunion, though.
Yeah, but Meredith didn't really say anything in support of Jen this episode.
She's just been kind of like, next week we're gonna see. I want to see what she says. Maybe I'll be convinced. Right
I had one more thing though. When Angie H turned to Meredith and was like, "Yeah, I couldn't talk to you either," and Meredith was like, "Because of Lisa," and Lisa said, "You can have her." Did y'all catch?
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
I didn't know if she was talking to Meredith or if she was talking to Angie though.
Yeah,
Angie.
But she cracked herself up with that. She said, "You can have her." I'm like, she tickled herself. She was like, "You can have her." I was like,
"All right, we got a call in the queue. I'm gonna get this call on before we get out of here." Okay. And it's going to be Nisha. Nisha, I know you're not driving there.
No,
we didn't told you about driving.
No.
What you got for us?
I'm sitting by my daughter's house.
Okay.
Boo. Can anybody sign a petition so we can get next part of reunion canceled?
Cancel? I do think they should consolidate the next two parts into one.
We don't need it.
Yeah. But I mean, that's
we
just...
don't. This was the most boringest, if that's a word, boringest reunion I've ever watched. The whole season was trash. And I do feel like Jen did that to Heather, but she don't want to take her all the way out because she's still soft for her.
Yeah.
So she don't really want to say nothing, because if we got all that fake behind the scenes footage at the bachelor party with Portia kissing and all that shit, I'm sure it was a video of how that hit happened.
Right.
They went as far as they showed them naked, talking about come to my room. So why wouldn't they show the hit?
Good point.
So
yeah,
it's just like Heather want to probably protect her, but don't want to. I would probably feel like that too. Like, I ain't gonna pile this on the bitch. She already in trouble. So whatever.
Hell no, I'm telling. She hit me.
Me, I would have hit her back, but
too.
But
you know what I'm saying. But if
Heather is not
softy,
you,
right? But if I'm just a softie, then I probably won't want to just take her all the way out like that. I'll feel sorry for her, her and her kids and shit. So whatever.
Yeah.
And Heather is clingy to her because just what Danny said, she feel like they from Salt Lake City. Jen is something to them.
Yeah.
So she probably like, oh, I want to be down with this bitch. I want to hang. Like she want to be in some kind of connection with her. So she just let her do whatever to her because, she view her as better than her.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Because she's insecure and she's oddly shaped and she's ugly. You know what I'm saying? So she thinks
I mean, Jen is also oddly shaped.
Nisha, why you have to eat that girl up like that?
But definitely shaped like a wisdom tooth or something.
But Jen is a refrigerator and Heather is a cargo train. So it's two different shapes.
Okay.
So, she probably would rather be the refrigerator.
Oh my God.
I don't want to be either, baby. I
don't want to be either, and I ain't. But I mean, if you a truck, you probably want to be if you a truck, you probably want to be mid-size car. I don't know.
Nisha
said she ugly and she oddly shaped. So.
And Angie, why was you on there crying and stuff? You won't never be able to hang with them because they gonna put their foot in your ass every episode if you become a wife. They're not you. She can't hang.
Yeah.
Like it takes more than money or a couple dollars just to be a housewife, and she can't rumble with them.
Yeah.
Because Whitney gonna dig up everything she ever heard around that time.
Listen,
absolutely.
And this bitch is gonna just cry.
Yep, Whitney is the Ashley Darby of Salt Lake City.
I wonder, this is probably the last thing, but I wonder why with all the crap that Whitney go around starting, because she sat there and admitted, did y'all catch her say when she was sitting there talking to Meredith and she said, can you believe somebody said she took YYY for jazz tickets? And she was like, that's absurd, isn't it? Whitney said, she said, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She said, she admitted that she said no. Why nobody don't run down on her and get all her dirt about her eating chocolate and getting fucking in chocolate on the screen and getting fired from the job and the husband got a case going on? Why nobody don't get her stuff and bring it out?
They definitely need to.
Because she's made friends with them. I thought Lisa was going to be the one to do that.
But she is every time something gets going, Whitney is at the center of it. Now, by the time she gets through moving it around, it's always everybody else involved. But she is at the center of everything.
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 I don't understand why nobody won't drag her.
She's so annoying.
And you was wasn't she like a hillbilly or something before she married dude?
No, she just married. And then
she's a hillbilly now.
They cheat on each other and wiggle each other. That's what they did. They were both married.
Well, you're an adulterer, bitch. Like, I mean, they can just do that. They can just do that.
Now, y'all, Nisha gonna be on Twitter tonight. Like, Whitney say something to you next season. Call her an adulterer.
Yeah, you are an adulterer. And Danny, you clocked in. You clocked in tonight, Danny. You had me laughing. I mean, Jamie, you had me laughing.
Hold on.
Actually say they looking like
hold on, not all brown folk looking like Nisha.
All right, Nisha, we gotta get out here, okay?
I do too.
Bye, Nisha.
See y'all.
Hey, Danny.
She said oddly.
Hey, Danny.
Shut up, y'all.
Is that Chase right there? Chase, hey Chase. No. I'm just talking. Okay. I did see that Jen Shah had that website, or she put what's it called? The Jen Shah story. I'm not watching.
Jen Shah room.
Do not put your credit card in that form. Don't do that, y'all.
Turn off cookies. Turn off the cookies and stop tracking location. You would trash, bitch.
I subscribe because I want to see what she's talking about.
You trash.
Is it for real? Like a subscription? You got to put your credit card and stuff like that in it.
It's something you got to pay for.
As of right now, when you sign up, it says we will send you an email. You'll hear from us soon. So I got the email, verified my account, and that's it. That's all I've gotten so far. It said we'll send you next steps.
I don't want to hear from them.
Isn't that how she started her company, from email lists and lead lists and stuff? She's about to run you down.
It wouldn't be going to
take your retirement.
If she does, I'll send it over to the judge.
If Chad put his credit card info in there, Chad gonna come up with another black eye, and y'all know who gonna do it.
Not the card gonna get declined.
Wait a minute now, Danny.
All right, y'all. Well, listen, thank y'all for watching. It's been a really good show, despite a very mediocre episode. But it was interesting. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. So, with that being said, thank you, Chad, Jamie, and Antonio, for leaning in today. Thank you, Nisha, for calling in. Dr. Sihu, Brooke, who was in the chat today? There was a lot of people in the chat. PKZ, Miss Johns, Robo, Sammy, Jasmine stepped in. Thank y'all for watching. Like the video, subscribe, and we will see you guys next week for Potomac. As you know, this is the off week of Miami. So like the video, and we'll see you next time, okay? Good night.
Peace.